Thank you, Denise, for the invitation to do this talk here at the University of Iowa. I'm very happy to be back. As you know, I graduated from here in the year 2005, and this is my first time giving a talk after that. The title of this presentation is Uncovering Jewish Zamora, Humanities in Action, and I will be basically sharing with you and the group what we have been doing in the last 14 years regarding the study and research of the Jewish legacy in the city of Zamora in Spain, and how we have been able to work with some institutions there to make this legacy visible to the residents of the city and also to people visiting there. Bear with me here. Okay, so my first time in Zamora is 2010. Why I went there? Well, I'm from Cuba. I was born in Havana, but my father's side is from Zamora, from the region of Zamora, specifically from a town called Gema del Vino. So I grew up listening about this place and about the city, and went to the United States, came to the United States in the year 2000, and it was only in the year 2010 that I was able to travel outside of the country. And I went first to Latin America, to several countries in Latin America. And then in 2010, I went to Spain, specifically to Zamora, meet a relative there and family that live there. And in preparation for that, I did a little bit of research about the city, and I learned that there was a Jewish community in medieval time in the city. So I was trying to know a little bit more about history there, specifically in the historic side of the city. Um, Zamora itself is very artistic in the sense that, for example, the architecture is beautiful. From the Romanesque architecture to the modernist and modern architecture, you can find, like 20, 21 Romanesque churches there with beautiful architecture. And then you have some Renaissance buildings as well, and also modernist style in the city, the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. So I really like the place. I really like the people there. I enjoy. But when I started to look for references to the Jewish life of Zamora in the medieval time, I couldn't find anything. There was nothing in the city, at the museums or any other cultural institution that speaks of that tradition. I was curious about that because I knew that even when there was no a huge community, there were some um, um, Jewish quarters in the city. I mean, Zamora is no Toledo, is no Granada or Cordova or Seville or Barcelona, obviously. But, given the history of Jews in Spain, I knew that in that area and all that region, also in the border with Portugal, there were people there. So I was curious, and I went to the public library and looked for the book. Um, uh, the only book that was at that time uh, a monograph about the Jews of Zamora. It's called the Past of the Jews of Zamora by Maria Fuencisla Garcia Casar. She's a medievalist at the University of Salamanca, and she was the only one writing about the Jews of Zamora at that time. She was a student of Professor Carlos Carrete Parrondo, which was one of the main scholars on these topics in Spain, specifically also in Castile and Leon. So I went to the museum. There was nothing in the museum about Jewish history or Jewish legacy, nothing at all. Uh, the methodology that they work at the museums there is everything has to be archaeological. If you don't have any artifact, archaeological artifact, object, anything, then it's no history. It's not included in the museum. Now, given the story of the Inquisition in Spain for more than 350 years, it's sometimes very difficult to find objects of Jewish origins in Spain, and that was something that I was also aware of. So I started to talk to people there, and they told me, no, you can't find anything here. The community here was very small. It was not significant, and that therefore we don't have anything over here. Now I continue reading. When I came back to the United States, I photocopied a book that I mentioned before by Francisca Garcia Casar, and in the flight back to Chicago, I read practically the entire. I did a photocopy. I read the whole thing, and then when I landed in the United States, I already knew that I had to do something about this, because the book itself was very interesting and gave a lot of information about the Jewish community in Zamora, and then also have some mentions of references that were very interesting to me. For example, that Zamora had a rabbinical academy in the medieval time, and there were some figures there. So knowing that was a rabbinical academy in Zamora, that told me that it was a community that it has certain relevance. It was not something that just a few Jews living in the area. In order to have a rabbinical academy, you have to have synagogues, you have to have a numerous community, and you have to have people coming there to study. And therefore, I have the suspicion that there were more to this history than what that book in particular was telling us at the moment. So I start my own research about that, and the entry point for that research was the figure of Isaac Campanton, who was the Gaon of Castile and Leon at that time, and the Spain actually at that time. It was the only Gaon in Spain. There was one of his disciples was a Gaon after, but he was the first one that was considered a Gaon in Sepharad, which was very curious because it's a title that is not only religious, it's also communal. I mean, it's a title that the Jewish community give to certain people because their knowledge, because their commitment to the community, because the study of the Torah and the Talmud and the Kabbalah. And I said, well, if we have these figures here, I need to dig a little bit more about this. This sounds very interesting, and I think that there is something more behind this. So Zamora is, as you see in this map, is northwest of Madrid, 2 hours and a half northwest of Madrid. Is 45 minutes by car to the border with Portugal. It's very close to Portugal. And it was located in what it was called the Old Kingdom of Leon. The Old Kingdom of Leon was the first kingdom in the Iberian Peninsula, the first Christian kingdom in the Iberian Peninsula. It played a very important role in the medieval times. And along with Leon, the city, and Salamanca, these are the three major places where this Old Kingdom was present at the time. So I started to doing this research, and one of the first things that I find out, the other thing is that, for example, in our textbooks, I come from Spanish. I teach Spanish and Latin American studies, but in the case of Hispanic American studies, and in the case of the Iberian Peninsula, all our textbooks say nothing about Jews in Spain. The only historical aspect that they mention is that in 1492, Jews were expelled from Spain. Nebrija published the first Spanish grammar book, and Christopher Columbus arrived to the Americas. Those are the three major historical events that I usually mention in textbooks. So nothing more about specifically the use. A lot of about the conquest and colonization of the Americas. Nebrija, obviously, for obvious reason, because the language is also important, but about the Jews and where they went, how many there were in Spain, and all the legacy, nothing is practically mentioned. One of the things that I discovered that is that in Spain, there have been many, many scholars since the 19th century really researching and studying this legacy. Okay, there are not many Jewish studies programs in Spain. I have to say that, but there are scholars that have been studying the Ladino language, the history of the communities in Cordoba, in Granada, and other places, Seville, Barcelona. Also in this city, there are museums and cultural centers to remember this tradition. And then we have the Sephardic Museum in Toledo. But one of the things that I learned starting to do this research was the amount, I mean, the dimension of the Jewish community in Iberia, and specifically in Spain at the time, in medieval times. Okay, so this map is very interesting. It's included by Cantera Burgos, who was one of these scholars that I mentioned before. And these were the synagogues in Spain in 1492. I mean, they are not all of them in that map, but this map gives you the idea exactly of where Jews live in Spain in the 15th century. Okay, the idea that we have that the south was the main location for Jewish life in Spain changed for me with this map. Up to this point, I thought that it was only, Andalusia, where the Al-Andalus was. But after this map, everything in my case completely changed. As you see, most of the Jews in Spain live in the central north, west, and east of the peninsula. And this is very interesting. And Zamora is included there, right? So because that, I was starting to ask questions. Okay, what's going on here? Why, if Zamora was Zamora had a Jewish community, there is nothing at the museums, there is nothing at the cultural center, there is nobody's talking about this in Zamora. There is nothing there to really learn or appreciate or study, recuperate, recreate this culture, right? And then many other things started to come out and emerge as I was advancing in these studies. And one of the things is that, as I mentioned before, Al-Andalus was in the south, yes, but Sepharad, the concept of Sepharad, of Sepharad, include also other areas of regions and parts of the Iberian Peninsula. And that was something important. This map only represents Spain, but obviously in the side of Portugal, we can find another synagogues in the side of Portugal, which made the Iberian Peninsula one of the prime locations for the Jewish communities of Europe at the time. Now, that was very, very important. The other aspect, as I mentioned also before, was the extension of the Inquisition, the dimension of the Inquisition in Spain and later in the Americas, that lasted for more than 350 years, meaning that there was a crypto-Jewish community also after the 1492. So the idea that all the Jews left Spain at that time, and there was no Jews in the peninsula after 1492, it was completely misrepresented. Okay, because now we know that the community of crypto-Jewish communities existed in Spain all the way to the 19th century, also in Portugal, of course, and that is a very complex history, okay? From the cultural perspective, I come from cultural studies as well, and from the cultural perspective, this is a complex history that is not really represented in any of our textbooks of Iberian Peninsula or Spain in general, right? Um, this is something that I really need to clarify because um, you know this is also part of the Jewish history. The crypto-Jews history is also part of the Jewish history from the cultural perspective. I know that from the religious perspective, there is another debate there, but from the cultural perspectives, that is what I'm interested in. Crypto-Jews are also part of the Jewish community as a whole, right? And then the first case of judaizante or crypto Jews in Zamora happened in 1493, precisely. Diego Perez was the name of the person, and right after the expulsion in 1493, we have the first case of crypto Jews, the crypto Jews in Zamora in 1493. Okay, so all of these started to emerge, and I started to then organize my own research around this idea and around the area of Zamora, and why in Zamora there was nothing about to tell the story of this community, right? That was something that it was all the time in my mind. Um, Therefore, I reading this book by Francisla and by other historians also in the city. All the historians, and I have to say that, all the historians, the modern historians in Zamora from the 19th century on have mentioned the existence of a Jewish community in Zamora. Okay, so this is something that I have to say, which make the accents of this culture represented in cultural institutions and the museums there more strange to me. I mean, this is not something that somebody is just writing one paper or one book or something like that. It's a consistent historical presence in the city, and is also that presence have been studied by several historians since the 19th century to today. And that was very, very interesting for me, because it was not me, Jesús Jambrina, going there and discovering something. I was just digging my bibliography and my references. I found out that yes, this was something that have been studied in the past as well. So basically, saying that, to do a summary, because we don't have too much time here, there was two major Jewish quarters, one in what is called today La Horta, the other one what is called La Lana, one in the southeast of the city, and the other one in the northeast of the city. And the other important thing is this rabbinical academy that I have been mentioning. Okay, the existence of this place trigger other things that are also relevant for the Jewish presence in the city. And one of the things that I learned is that in 1492, all the major community leaders in the Jewish quarters in Spain, especially in that area, all of them in Salamanca, in Ocaña, in Toledo, even in Lisbon, all of them have been students at the Rabbinical Academy in Zamora. Okay, so for you to have all these people coming to Zamora to study, that Rabbinical Academy was important, had a very important cultural legacy, and again, none of this was mentioned in the narrative historical narrative of the city. Now, this is something that, again, brought me to ask question: why this silence? Why Zamora has this silence about the Jewish legacy of the city? What's going on here, right? It's true that there were no many archaeological objects, of course, but I'm giving you here with this picture one example that was discovered in the year 1989 at the Church of San Pedro and San Ildefonso in the historical part of the city, and was certified by a historian also, especially in medieval history and archaeology. And he recognized this as one of the few Hanukkah in Spain from the 11th, 12th century. He dated it in the 11th, 12th century. So it's true, there was nothing, relevant before 1989, but after 1989, we have this particular piece, right? That is important archaeologically speaking. However, it doesn't appear in any account, in any archaeology or historical account or narrative of the city. Even the same archaeologists that discovered it published an article in a journal and they didn't mention it, right? And that's very interesting. And then if there was a community and that community was numerous, it was after I learned about the data there was the 5th Jewish community in Spain in the 1492 year. Okay, so it was a numerous community. It had an academical, rabbinical academy. There was this major figure, Isaac Campanton, and then, there should be synagogues, there should be mikvahs there, as well. So what is everything? What is all of this? Where is all of this, right? So this is a very good question that some of them I still thinking about them, because we have discovered other places, but it's interesting that at this point we don't have yet an official study of, for example, this piece in the city. Okay, so now it's now 2016. I've been going there since 2010, doing research, talking to historians, organizing congresses there. That was the first activity that I organized there. Okay, because one of the things that I also knew was that there were several people, scholars, members of the community that were interested in learning more about this. And they were the one really pushing me to organize a congress, to organize a conference in Zamora, which I did, the first one in 2013, okay? So I've been going to Zamora since 2010, doing my research, and then with all that previous research and all these collaborations with other scholars around the world, we organized this conference in 2013. And since then, we have been doing this conference every year, and even during the pandemic, we did it online. And then in the year 2016, I published a book called "The Jews of Zamora: A Chronology," and it's just to to create a timeline in which with which we can work about describing and putting in place and tying in place this community in Zamora. Okay, I think it was important to create this timeline, and then I'm already working in a second edition. I have a lot of data and information for a second edition already, just to make this to visualize this community in the city and bring them back from the darkness of time over there, and make it and say, okay, yes, there was a Jewish community in Zamora in medieval time. Okay, it existed. It had there were synagogues, there were cemeteries, there were mikvah, there were people here with name and last names as well, and we need to understand that in order to recuperate this memory. So we started to work with some institutions. Uh, yeah, with the city council there in 2014, we were able to establish the Jewish Sephardic walk in the city. These are five. Let me see. These are 5 points in the city that remember the presence of Jews in that particular neighborhood. These 5 places are in the Jewish historical quarters of the city. So this year we are celebrating 10 years of this work, and these places are there. People going to Zamora can go there, and as you see, right, it has a description in 3 languages, in Spanish, Portuguese, and English, about the history of that particular area where these postings are located. So that's part of what we have been doing there. That was the first thing that we did after the Congress. This was the first thing that we did in order to create this space of memory for the Jewish community in Zamora. And then we started also to reach out to other institutions in Spain to make this community visible, not only for the city itself, but also for Spain as a country, right? And then we established a collaboration with the Centro Sefará Israel in Madrid, and they have been very kind to us, very good to us, inviting us to do panels, to do presentations, to do colloquiums there about this legacy in Zamora. And we have been, every year, we have been going there to do these presentations, okay? Other things that we have been doing is the concerts, the Sephardic music concert. We have every year we also organize this concert. Judy Cohen, which is a ethnomusicologist from York University in Canada, she goes there every year. She has her own space. She offers her own concert every year. That's part of the signature that we have in our conference every year. And then we have had other renowned Sephardic music singers there, like Mara Aranda, that is also here. And it was also Guy Mendilo, which is he's a singer in Boston. He was invited by Mara Aranda to give that presentation along with her and Judith in 2014, if I remember well. Okay. And then this picture is in the Centro Sefará Israel. You see here several scholars, Margali Matitiao, which is a Judeo-Spanish poet, Abraham Haim, which is an Israeli historian, Anu and Jose Manuel, which are part of the Bene Anusin community in Spain, genealogist Fernando González del Campo, and writer Santiago Trancón. So we have been doing these conferences and these events every year. And then we have been also proposing the existence of the first synagogue in Zamora, in the old Jewish quarters in Plaza Santa Lucia. There is this construction there. I am not an archaeologist, but I collaborate and I invite archaeologists and engineers and other colleagues from other universities. In this case, there is a colleague from the University of Valladolid that is doing a study about this particular construction in Zamora. One of his grad students wrote a dissertation about this particular place in Zamora. All right, so we have been doing all of this. This is a picture of the group the first year. So what basically we have been doing is just bringing my training as humanist in Spanish, from the Spanish studies area, to help this community to re-encounter itself with its Jewish legacy. Okay, historical Jewish legacy. This is something that is very for me, it was very important work to do. And then at some point, we also started to branch out to other topics that are very interesting. For example, the work of the poet Leon Felipe, which was born in Tábara, which is in Zamora. And he also was one of the first writers in the Spanish language denouncing the Holocaust, right? And we were able to place a plaque in the School of Education in Zamora, which is a campus of the University of Salamanca. We were able to place this plaque there in collaboration with the Ayuntamiento de Zamora and Centro Isaac Campantón, of course, that I'm part of it. And then, study this poet and the connection that he had with the Jewish people. And then up to this point, Leon Felipe was known as a civil writer, as a Republican in the sense of Spain, right? The anti-fascist fighter. He fought at the Spanish Civil War. He was exiled in Mexico, so he was very committed to the Spanish Republic, okay, and the idea of democracy in Spain against Franco. However, he had a very strong line within his poetry in connection with the Jewish culture, the Jewish history, and the Jewish people in general. So, and this is something that we have been able to also underline in several presentations that we have done in the conference, because at this we learned that it is not only about the medieval times, but it's also something about the present. We brought that tradition into the present, making the case that as a showcase that this is a legacy that has not died in medieval times. It is something that kept going in the culture, in the mind, in the sensibility, and in the writings of some of these authors. And in this case, particularly in Leon Felipe, he was very open about his, friendship and his connection with the Jewish people, not only in Spain, but also when he was in Mexico, when he traveled across Latin America, and even here in the United States. Leon Felipe died in Mexico City in 1968. Now, this is something that is very important, right? Because we were also not only talking about a particular time in history, but we also now fertilizing this tradition and giving people bringing to people the idea that this is something that is also embedded in the culture of the writers of the area. Okay, so at this point, the Congress was growing, and many people were going there. I don't know if I show you the picture. When we did our first Congress, knowing that this was not something that was in the narrative of the history, we were expecting around 20 people. We say, okay, probably we're going to have 20, 25 people, maximum 30 people. That's what we were expecting, right? And then 120 people show up at that first conference. It was a totally surprise for us. It was something that we didn't expect at that point. Okay, Um, and from that moment on, mainly people from Zamora start attending this conference up to 2019, because then the pandemic came, and then that exponential growing of attendance and participants in the conference fell for a couple of years. And now again this year we started to recuperate part of the public of the city. But just to give you an idea that, in the first conference, we were expecting only 20, 25 people. And then, because there were people at the time that told us, no, this is not interesting for people over here. This is something that people won't go to that kind of conference. So don't expect too many people. And then 120 people or more show up in that first conference, just to give you an idea. Okay. So these are some of the signpostings for the Jewish Sephardi walk. And then what's forthcoming for us? What's forthcoming? What we are planning to do? Well, we have, in 2013 we created the Centro Campantón to bring together all the persons in Zamora and around the world, scholars, professors, and just people interested in the topic that are doing research about this. And lately we have a lot of people that have family connections to Zamora, because in 2015, up from 2015 to 2019, the Spanish government offered the citizenship to anybody that can prove that they have Jewish Sephardic ancestry connected to the Iberian Peninsula. And then we had a lot of people with connections to Zamora that started to visit the city and learn a little bit more about this. Now, after all this work, I think that the only things that will crown this war will be creating a Jewish museum. That's our main goal. We're going to be continuing doing our conference every year, but we are really committed to the creation of a Jewish museum in Zamora. So if you know anybody that could be interested in supporting this kind of work, just let us know. And if you want to support this kind of work, just also let us know. We don't have any kind of subvention from anybody. This is a self-funding project. This is a self-funded initiative, and all we do with the support from the people that are connected to our work in Zamora and also around the world. Okay, so all this work that you have previously seen have been supported by people attending to those events. Okay, we don't have any support from anybody, from any university, from any institution in Spain, from any kind of funds from anybody, nothing. Everything has been supported by the people participating there. And I think that this is very interesting as well. The methodology that we have been working in that in this work. Okay. If you have questions, this is what I have. So the humanities have been working on not only for me, not only reading books, publishing articles, and doing papers at conferences, but the main thing that we have been trying to do is to translate all this knowledge about this particular tradition into actions that can enrich the minds, the consciences, and the life in general of the people participating in these conferences and attending to our events. It's a way in which the humanities can also really promote coexistence, promote the capacity of having cultural dialogues and intercultural dialogues, connections, networking, and at the end of the day, just enriching the culture itself, right? Um, if you have questions, I'm super happy to answer them. Please write it below. I understand that this is going to be on YouTube at some point. So if you want to connect with us or you have questions about our work, just comment below. Okay. Thank you again, Denise, for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure to be part of this initiative at the University of Iowa, a place and a city that I really love. I came from Cuba directly to the University of Iowa to do my PhD there. I love the city. I have a lot of friends in the city. Yet my family is living now in the city as well, in Coralville. I go there, so I'm really happy that I'm here, and thank you again for the invitation. Bye.